It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Y'all not gonna believe this, but I've got a story to tell you. It's gonna be a little long-winded, so get yourself a seat and get your glass of wine. All right, many of you keep asking me about, am I divorced? When was I married? How long have I been single? That sort of thing. Well, I'm about to tell you. And not all of this is pretty, okay? But I'm hoping that you'll hear this through the end, and you'll see that shit happens sometimes. Sometimes it happens.
Oh,
to the
she a
best
cat
of us,
lady.
okay? So
She got
this
a
is
cat.
what happened. Yes,
No.
I am divorced. Now, let's talk about when it happened. It happened during the pandemic. Let's go back for a minute and let me give you a little bit of the backstory. If you are interested in more about the guy and how this relationship worked out, I do have a video pinned at the top. The guy that I'm talking about buying the bracelet, that is this guy, okay? So what happened was, before the pandemic, all right, I was dating like I am now, and I had met this guy, and he was a gentle enough giant, big fella, kind-hearted, but just not my intellectual equal by any means. But he was very accommodating and very happy to be hanging out with me, and I was frustrated with all the nitwit men that I had met, and the guys who wanted you to have a big fat career, but they wanted you to be home every night cooking pork chops and biscuits. And I was like, are you kidding? I can't do both. Both aren't going to happen. I was just frustrated with the whole dating scene, and I got tired of it. And so I kind of settled. And I thought, well, they ain't hurting nothing. This guy, I got nothing better to do. So it wasn't, I guess, honestly, I was just kind of killing time. Well, so I've been dating this guy, and he'll do whatever. I mean, he'll go get my lunch and bring it to my job. He worked, but not really. And I worked all the time. And so it just got comfortable. It got comfortable. I certainly cared about this person. And I mean, we got along fine because he liked everything I did. But one of the reasons that he liked everything I did is because I paid for everything. And so we're going along. It's all fine. So it's almost like I got a personal assistant, right? I mean, it's not even like a boyfriend. It's like a personal assistant. But I'm happy. He's happy. Now, the people around me, my friends and my coworkers, and certainly my boss was on me about this, something terrible. And people would say they would see us somewhere together, and the people who knew me and knew me for a long time would always pull me aside and go, how in the hell did the two of you, he's a nice enough guy, but he kind of dumb. And I was like, no, he's good-hearted, not to worry about. So I was aware that we were a very odd couple, but I was happy. I don't care. I mean, things are happening, moving along smoothly, and I'm fine. And so we had been dating for a while, and it was all good. Well, then the damn pandemic happened. And I discovered this old boy wasn't as dumb as I thought he was. This is what happened. So the pandemic happened, and we ended up in the same house. And, we're just doing just like you. We don't know what's going on. We're just kind of figuring it out, right? So now we're living together because the pandemic has put this in this. And it's moving along smooth. Everything's going great. Now, I want to put into here the info that over the months and months that we had been dating, he continually was asking me to marry him. Well, I knew I was not going to marry this man. I was certainly content in the relationship as it was, but I was not going to marry this man. And so I was like, no. And he took it with a grain of salt, and he about every 60 days or so, he'd do a big production and ask me to marry him. And every 60 days or so, I would say no. So he finally learned to stop doing it in public because I was not going to say yes. And it's all fine. And I certainly soothed his feelings and his emotions about, I don't need to be married. I'm not ready to be married. I don't want to be married. And, we're fine the way we are. And he accepted that. Well, now the pandemic's happened, and it's just him and I. And I'm working from home, and I'm trying this and trying that. And he worked. He was considered an essential worker. So he worked a couple days a week. And so he would go. and he would leave, and he had a company vehicle, so he would drive his truck to their office. He'd get his company vehicle, he'd go do his job, and then he'd go back and get his company vehicle and come home, right? And home being at the same address as me. We're playing house here during the pandemic. Again, this happened during the pandemic, so I want some of y'all to put that bit of info in this story, okay? Nothing was open, you couldn't go nowhere, you couldn't be around other people. Well, of course, during this pandemic, he's asked me to marry him, and I'm like, no, no, not changing. Well, I'm discovering that during the pandemic, you can't go do anything anyway. People couldn't get married. People couldn't go on vacation. They couldn't go anywhere. There was very limited travel, very limited. You couldn't go to a hotel. Hotels were closed. It was just all crazy, right? Don't you remember? Well, one night, we'd had a good week. Everything was good, and I was just feeling real soft-hearted and tender, and he'd asked me, during pillow talk, where you laying, daydreaming about what we're going to do someday. And he said, I want to be married. And I said, well, we can probably do that someday. We can. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking we're not going to be doing it anytime soon because the damn world's shut down. The world is shut down. I mean, we can't go get married. He says, oh, yeah? And I said, yeah, someday. And I'm thinking, if we've survived this pandemic together and everything, maybe when this is all over with, maybe we'll run off to Vegas and get married by Elvis. I might really consider this at this point. But that's as far as I've really said, meant it. And so I'm saying this not in jest. I'm not saying it joking, but I'm saying it as a distant thought. Not like we're going to get married and let's do it tomorrow and let's pick a date. I'm not there. Well, so this conversation goes on and he's happy as he can be. And I think, I've made this man happy. He does all these things. He caters to everything that if I want, he just caters to everything. But again, one of the reasons he catered to everything I want, because I was paying for everything. So all's good. The next day, we've had this pillow talk. The next day, he goes to work. And he calls me at about 10:30, 10:45 in the morning. He says, hey, let's go get some lunch. Now, going to get lunch during a pandemic was going to a drive-through, getting some food in a styrofoam box and going home and eating it, right? Because you couldn't go inside a restaurant. So I said, yeah, sure. So he says, all right, well, you get my truck and come pick me up. He said, at the office parking lot, because he's got the company vehicle. And I said, sure. So I get in his pickup truck and I drive to his work. And he pulls in the parking lot with the company vehicle. He gets out. He gets in his truck. I get in the passenger seat, and we drive. He says, we got to go over here. We got to make another errand. We got to make another stop. I said, oh, okay. So I'm not really paying attention. I'm playing on my phone in my hand in the passenger seat. We drive up to the bank, Ameris Bank. We drive up to the bank drive-through. I don't think nothing of this. I don't know what this man's got to do. I don't know. And he pulls out his work clipboard thing, and he pulls out some paperwork, and he puts it in the thing, the window. The girls inside the window. Now all of a sudden there's like 9 women, all in masks in this big glass window, looking in the truck. And I don't know. I mean, I just think, well, I guess it's a slow day, right? So he gets the paper back out and he says, I need you to sign this. I said, oh, okay. I don't know what it is. I'm not looking at it. I'm not really paying attention. So I sign it and I give it back to him. I said, what is that? He said, it has to be notarized. And I said, oh, okay. And I go, wait, what are we notarizing? By now, he stuck it back in the window and it's back in the bank. And I don't know what it is, and we're talking about something else. I'm on to talking about something else because this is unimportant to me. And it should have been, but it wasn't at that time. So a few minutes later,
nobody comes.
The window pops open, he gets it back, and all these women are in that window in their mask, and they're clapping. They're all standing beside each other, clapping. And I thought, what the hell is going on? He says, give me a kiss. And I said, huh? What? And he leans over and pulls me to him and he kisses me and they clapping and cheering and now the speaker's on and they're going, congratulations. What the hell? He drives off and I'm like, what's happened? He said, that was our marriage license. I said, oh, an application for a license. I said, what? He said, I've had it. He said, I've had that the whole time. I said, where did that come from? He said, I've had it. I've had it from the first time I asked you to marry me. I said, what? Well, this truck is headed downtown now, and downtown Dothan. And I said, where are we go? What do you mean? It was just a marriage application, right? And he said, no, it was our marriage license. I said, what? Y'all, so we're driving off from the bank, and I really don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what's happening. And so I'm asking, we're headed downtown Dothan. I don't know, maybe we're headed to the restaurant. So where we're heading is also not important to me. I am now stuck on the hell was that went in the bank window. So I said, what was that? And I'm processing around. I'm thinking, I thought I witnessed his signature to something he needed notarized. That's what I thought I was signing. I was just witnessing his signature to something being notarized. I did not grasp what was happening. So I'm in shock and a panic in the passenger seat, and I'm frantic. What do you mean that was a marriage license? What do you mean? He said, yeah, no. And he's happy as he can be. And he says, we're married. He said, you are now my wife. And I said, no. He said, yeah. I said, what do you mean? I said, where did that come from? There's no county office open to you to get a marriage license. Where did that come from? And he said, I told you, I've had it the whole time. I've had our license. I just, you never said yes until now. And he's telling me he's excited and happy, but I'm in a absolute effing panic. I am frazzled trying to get this to reconcile in my head what has just happened. And so he pulls up downtown near one of the courthouse. There's a mailbox outside, and it's like a drop box. And he pulls up to it, and he opens his truck window, and I'm still asking, what do you mean it was a marriage license? We're not married. No, we're not married. He said, yes, we are. He opened that drop box out the driver's window and put an envelope in that paper in there. And I said, what was that? What are you doing now? And I'm realizing I'm out downtown near the courthouse, and I'm at a drop box from the city. And I said, what was that? He said, I talked to them this morning. They told me that they would record it for me. I just need to drop it in this box after we had it notarized. I said, what? I said, get it out of there. He drives off, and I'm like, no. He said, you're just panicked. He said, you're married now. You're married to me. You're my wife. And I thought, fuck, what am I? What? No. And I'm in an absolute tizzy. And he gets me back to his company parking lot, and he gets out of the truck. I said, wait a minute, no, we need to fix this. We need to go back and get that. He says, no, honey. He says, I love you, and you're my wife. You're just panicked. He said, I'll talk to you when I get home, okay? And he shuts the door, and I'm sitting now in the passenger seat of this truck running, and he gets in the company vehicle and drives off. I thought, what the hell? I don't know what to do. So I don't even know what to do. So I sat there for about 10 minutes, just absolute in a stupor. And I finally reconciled this in my head and thought, I'm the one who said last night, yes, I'd get married. Oh my God. Well, maybe this was just the universe, putting me, I said it, this is what's meant to happen. We get along good. Okay. I drove home just kind of shocked. I got home. I got out of the truck. I went in the house, and I thought, what the fuck? I opened the fridge. No beer. I dug all through the top of the cabinets above the refrigerator. Finally found some alcohol. I made myself a really strong drink. About 2 drinks later, I was asleep on the sofa. I woke up to him coming in the front door and talking, and I just thought, okay, this has happened. Maybe this was meant to be. I'm going to find the silver lining in this. So this went on for, I don't know, maybe 90 days, about 90 days. And I have called, I've asked questions, I've called every attorney, I've called the courthouse, I've called and quizzed trying to be anonymous, right? And so, what can I do about it? Is there anything? Is it legal? Did that get recorded? What? And I've asked all these questions quietly, silently to myself. I have made all these phone calls. I'm not telling him that. And he's just as happy. He's like marching around on cloud nine. And I thought, to give someone else that kind of happiness, I guess maybe that makes me a better person. Okay. Well, then the pandemic's coming to a rapid end. And it's not ending, but we're getting used to it, and everyone's trying their damnedest to go back to work and everything. So I go back to work. And this is where the story gets a little haywire. Even more so, like it wasn't already haywire. Now, first off, I want to go ahead and address something. I bet a lot of y'all are asking, what was I thinking? Was I pissed? Was I angry? Did we fight and argue about this? We didn't. And here's the reason we didn't. Because I already knew that I wore the pants in this relationship. You know what I mean? I was the decision maker in this relationship. And I am a self-accountable person. So I hold myself accountable when things aren't going right, just like when things are going good. I want to take credit for it. I know that when things aren't going right, I've got to take some credit for the fault. So 90 days in, it was moving along all fine in this marriage, and I thought maybe this was for the best. The truth is, I'm as happy as I can be. I mean, I got this guy who gophers around, does anything I want, and I'm having to foot the bill, but because of the pandemic, I was struggling footing the bill. Because I wasn't working as much, I wasn't making as much. It was time for my tail to go back to work. So I went back to work, and it is still the pandemic. Well, I go to work, and everything's fine. Well, there is this one gal, listen carefully. There's this one gal in the office, and she doesn't work directly with me, but she works in the office. And anytime I go in the main office to do any paperwork or whatever, she's in there, and she's telling a story about how she's got a hickey. She's a grown woman my age, and she's got to get it covered up before she goes home because her sugar daddy gave her the hickey, and if her live-in boyfriend finds out, this, that. And so every day at work, she's talking about doing some unladylike activity. Just not the kind of gal that I want to be running with, but I work with her and she works fine. She's a good worker. But during this time, I still run a jewelry business, right? My side hustle. So every once in a while, she's got this jewelry emergency. And she'd call me at home and she'd say, hey, can I come by? I want to buy this. I need it. I can't live without it. I got to have it. And every time she'd come in my house, of course, we're social distancing and the best we can. She's only there for a minute. And she'd come in and she'd rub her hand down the back of my sofa. Ooh, I just love this sofa. And every little knick-knack on the way to my shop in my house, she's got to touch every damn thing. Ooh, I love this little knick-knack. Oh, I love this. Ooh, I love that. Oh, and she'd see my tea kettle. Oh, I love that. Just every damn thing. And I thought, this girl never seen nothing. And so I had said to him, she makes me crazy. I said, she act like she never seen nothing before. She act like she's at the Vegas Strip seeing some sparkly lights, and she just looking at some damn knickknacks that I got at, the dollar store, the Dollar General. I don't understand. And he was like, oh, well, she just likes you. She just really likes you. And I was like, she makes me crazy. But I'm being polite to her because now she's not only a coworker, she is a customer in my jewelry business. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. One morning I go into work, but he's been acting funny for a couple of days and keeping quiet. And I ain't asked him because the truth is I'm trying to go back to work. I'm working again, long hours, and I've only been at work like 10 days. So when she came in, I said, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And she's, yeah, sure. I wanted to talk to you too, Dolly. I really wanted to talk to you too. And I said, okay. She's, let's go over here. So we walk on the other side of the showroom and we're standing there, and she says, Dolly, I want you to know I really am your friend. I said, my friend? She said, yeah. I said, okay, sure. I said, yeah. And she said, I said, well, what is, she's, no, you go first. I said, no, because I'm thinking, let's get this baby daddy, boyfriend, sugar daddy bullshit story out of the way so I can get back to work, right? Now, I want to interject that the thing that he was acting funny about for a few days, he had gotten quite quiet. He said to me, He said, I think that I want to move to Georgia. And I said, oh, okay. I'm not moving to Georgia. He said, well, maybe I'll move by myself. I said, oh, okay. Why are you moving to Georgia? And he said, well, I'm not. I just wanted to talk about it. I said, okay. He said, well, I think I can get a better job up there. And the way he was delivering this to me felt like he had an an undertone of something suspicious going on. I wasn't alarmed by it. I just thought, oh, maybe he's come to his damn senses too, that this marriage is ridiculous. I had to go to work. So that was the end of that conversation. But I had made some phone calls, and I had called an attorney, and I had said, hey, if my pandemic husband, and I explained a little bit this, and then I said, if he leaves, what will happen if I want to annul or divorce? And he said to me, you're going to have to get a divorce. He said, but I really can't discuss this with you until you sign a document for me, given, that attorney-client privilege something. And I said, okay, well, email it to me. He said, no. He said, husbands and wives are notorious for having each other's passwords and things. He said, and what you're telling me is that you and he have not discussed a divorce. There's not been any argument or anything. I said, no. So this is, if you want to keep this on the down low, he said, I really would rather you didn't use your home computer. I said, well, send it to my phone. He said, do you and him share a phone plan? I said, yeah, it's my phone plan. It's mine. And he said, doesn't matter. He's got access. He said, I'd really rather you use like your office computer or go to the public library and use that computer. He said, I'll send you the form, you sign it, send it back to me. And I said, all of this covert? He said, it's necessary. I said, no, I don't think anything would be ugly. He said, yeah, everybody's happy until the paperwork starts flying. I said, okay. So that is what I wanted to speak to this girl at work about. I wanted to ask her, we had intranet in the office, but we didn't have internet externally out, and I didn't know the password because I never needed it, so I knew she knew the password. She says, Dolly, I really am sorry. I really am sorry. I said, okay, well, what are we sorry about? Tell me what you've done. And she said, I told him not to leave you. I told him. You told what? I told him, Dolly, I don't want to take your husband. I don't. I said, huh? And she reached out to put her hand on my shoulder. Now, I know what kind of a tramp she is. So, and him being married or me being her coworker wouldn't interfere with her decision making at all, because her morals are at the bottom of the tier of options. And I stepped back. I was stunned to hear this. Stunned. You hear me? Effing stunned. And I stepped back and I said, you what? And I have a face mask on, but I tell you, my mouth was hanging open. And I stepped back and I thought, what in the hell have I landed in the Twilight Zone? And she reached for my shoulder to put her hand on me in a condoling, sympathetic way. And I stepped back. She said, I really am your friend. I said, you are not my friend. And I turned around. I walked straight to my desk. I got my purse out of my desk drawer. I didn't say jack shit to nobody. I walked out the back door of that building. I got in my car and I drove to my house. And I sat on my sofa for about 3 or 4 minutes, and my doorbell rang, and I thought, oh, if you followed me home. And I got up and I walked out there, and my dearest, bestest friend that God sent to me was there in the window at the front door. And I thought, oh, I could not possibly explain this to her. What is she doing here? And I opened the door and I said, hun, what are you doing here? And she said, I don't know. She said, I had no reason to be over here. She said, I was driving down the street, she said, and I passed the entrance to your subdivision. She said, and I don't know. She said, something just come over me. I don't know why I'm here. I said, huh? And she said, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not, but what do you need? And I said, come on in. She said, I don't need anything. She said, I swear to you, Dolly, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. She said, something, I don't know. I got possessed by something, was told I had to come here, and here I am. And I turn around, and by now, tears are running down my face. And she said, oh, she put her arms around me and hugged me. I'm tearing up now because the love of a friend, and it had to
Boy,
be
God do it.
weird to put her there. She come in, she sat down, I told her the whole thing, and she said, I hate that son of a bitch. And I said, no, I don't know what to do. I could not believe that he would, of all people, would cheat. And with that trash, y'all are not going to believe this, but let me tell you what happened. All right, so we've been married, tricked at the bank. We're back at work. He's now told me that he's thinking about moving to Georgia by himself. I'm suspecting that he's come to his senses, and that he should probably have someone that absolutely loves and adores him in his life, because I just like him. I care about him, but not, I want everyone deserves to have someone who absolutely loves and adores them, right? And he loved and adored me, but he probably adored my checkbook more than he did me, but he treated me fine. I didn't have any complaints until I had some complaints. And so this gal from work and all her huzzy behavior, right? Apparently, as soon as this all comes unraveled, she dropped him like a hot potato within 48 hours of me speaking up about this with him and telling him, you get your shit, get out of my house. And he went back to his mama's house, which is right where I found him originally, was living at his mama's house. So he goes back to his mama's house, and instantly she drops him like a hot potato. She don't want nothing to do with him anymore. She thought it was all cool and fun to steal someone's husband because she gets some kind of narcissistic, ugly girl power boost out of being the one that cheats that people will cheat on with, whatever you want to call it. I don't understand it because I don't do that sort of thing. But so, and I knew that she was that way because we had another coworker that she had messed around with that woman's husband, and that woman ended up getting a divorce and didn't know to this day. Well, maybe to this day she does know, but at that particular time she didn't know that it was her right there in her face every day at work that had actually slept with, or tried to sleep with, the husband. And I guess the husband, anyway, I don't know, the whole nother story. But she had done this similar thing to another coworker, but the other coworker had never found out about it. She knew that the husband had cheated, but she didn't know with who. I knew. And shame on me, I kept that secret. And you see how karma comes back. I had kept that secret from that other coworker. And now the one I kept the secret for, not like she asked me to, I just kept it because I'm not getting mixed up in that bullshit. It happened before my time, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. And that was the only reason I kept it. But do you see? You see how karma bites you in the ass? So, but this girl, now that she knows that this old boy ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, and he's back at his mama's house, she don't want nothing to do with him. Every time she was coming in my house, she'd run her hand down my side. Oh, I just love this. Ooh, this is so pretty. Ooh, I love it. And she would say to me endlessly, oh, he treats you so good. This beautiful house. And I never corrected her. I never corrected anyone, but this fool ain't give me nothing because I thought that was being disrespectful. But had she known this boy didn't have a pot to piss in or a window thrown out, she'd have never tried to sleep with him or did sleep with him. I don't know what they really did because I never did ask. It was enough was enough for me. But she dropped him like a damn hot potato. I mean, dropped him. And wouldn't speak to him, and I've had some, and then he, of course, contacted me. He was like, please, no, that's over with now, and he wanted to reconcile. I was like, no, we're too far in. So this is why I will not date a man that's not my equal. I'm not splitting a check. I'm not toting the weight of anything that he's going to get credit for. I only want to date a man who is my equal. Equal intellectually, equally financially, equally morally, equal. I want a man who is my equal because I've tried it that way. You see how that worked out? And it was really such a kick in the teeth that this man had gone through this trickery to have me married to him, and then to do this when he thought the grass was greener somewhere else. And I'm sure that he thought the grass was greener because she was telling him that he was everything, just flattering him, because she thought that he had a checkbook that came with him. And not all women, just because you're female doesn't mean you're good. I do generally think that all females are the better of the breed, right? But
I don't
not
think
all.
so.
There's a bad seed, there's a bad apple in every bunch, and it just takes one. And this one, she just run around doing that to everybody. I did have to take her name out of it. Now, if she steps up and wants to take ownership for it, I'd love that. But I'm sure she's not going to. And
I know she won't either.
him, I've never talked with him again. Matter of fact, I deny ever being married to him when people ask me about it because I'm just embarrassed that I was even involved with him to start with.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. We back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my homeboy Lucky Wills of Deals. He keeps it lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. We got your boy Custom_Freaks. Now, Custom_Freaks. We did find our winner. Lord, thank have mercy. We found our winner. Now that person will get the tumbler. Hopefully everybody's reached out, and then we'll get the tumbler shown, and then I'll show it on my page, and y'all be like, oh, I really want to join this, or I really want to buy one from Custom_Freaks. So hit the link down below in the description, and you can purchase one. Okay, purchase one. Tell them Everyday PJ sent you. Okay. Now let's get into it, man. Dolly Day. Dolly. Whoa, Dolly, if your dating stories are the worst in life. Like I thought my dating life was something. Yo, Dolly. Man, oh man. Anyway, thank you, Dolly, for sharing that. But I want to let you know, if you ever sign something without reading it or looking at it again, boy, when you was born at night, and apparently last night, because why would you sign something without even look? I thought this lady was intellectually brilliant, but it just goes to show some people are smart and some people have sense. Well, being smart don't make you have sense. Okay, the sense enough to know that I need to read these papers before I sign it. Being smart would have been to look over the papers. Having sense would have been like, maybe I shouldn't do this, because this could be something that could bite me in the butt in the long run. And yes, I'm not saying you got a lot of butt, but hey, you got them mom hips. The mom hips, look, it bit that big ass. Okay, get them super fat burners. Okay, now check this out. Dolly, I love your stories, and everybody is so intrigued with your dating stories that this one just had to eat the cake. It just had to eat the cake. And I was just, now everybody must know, my first time seeing this video was right down. Because ain't no way I'm finna watch a 40-minute video twice. Not on my best day. So I'm just as shocked as y'all. But Dolly, I'm disappointed. Now I thought your dating life was bad, but your marriage life is horrible. Okay, now you a cat lady too? Hang it up. You there, Dolly. I love you. You a sweet lady. You a sweet older lady. You know, you could be somebody's favorite auntie. I mean, you got a soul. You got a good soul. You so smart. I know you'll bring over cookies and pastries and all that good stuff to bingo night and to spades night and domino night and weekend parties and the beginning of the summer, end of summer parties. You bring your little dish, man. Just be that one. You ain't gotta bring a man to it. You ain't. Listen, Dolly, we don't care. Dolly, we don't want you to be in a relationship at this point. We just want you to continue dating and giving us these classic stories because it ain't in the cards for you, Dolly. It ain't in the cards for you. But anyway, we're gonna pray for you. Everyday people, let me know what y'all think about Dolly Day's marriage that lasted 90 days during a pandemic. Everyday people, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.